Dan Hooker out for UFC 313, but who should he fight next? We're reacting to the news and giving our thoughts this time on Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcast, champion of the world. And speaking of champions, ladies and gentlemen, I will be today the reigning defending undisputed bigger champion of the world. Our chief editor, coach, brother Gaia.
The one and only. Don't need any song intro for that. Just exactly what you did was perfect.
Shot BG. Okay, BG. So Dan Hooker is officially out of UFC 313, confirmed on his daughter's YouTube channel just a few hours ago. So BG, of course, there's not much you can do. The man broke his hand here, so
Yeah.
it's no fault of his. It's nobody's
Mhm.
fault really, but we have to kind of deal now with the present moment. So, like I was saying to you just before we went on, Moicano, Kamrat, and who was the other one? What?
Rafael Vaziev.
And Faziev, of course, Babu's bra. Shout out to Babu. Babu's bra Faziev also putting his name in that. I saw you giving me kind of like, okay, maybe. So, bra, what are your thoughts here?
Firstly, we have to give both these guys, all three of them, excuse me, Mateusz Gamrot, Renato Moicano, and Rafael Vaziev, we have to give them props for taking up this opportunity or shouting it out because it's literally 2 weeks away. Technically, less than 2 weeks away. The fight's happening next weekend. So it's basically almost a week away from the fight, and they both and all three of them are like, put me in, coach. I want to take that fight on. That speak volumes to showcasing that maybe all three of them have been training regularly, maybe for a moment like this to happen. However, that being said, if I put myself in the shoes of Justin Gaethje, look at those three athletes. Are they going to guarantee him a title shot if he beats them? Probably not. And especially because if he fought against Rafael Vaziev and beat him, right? He hasn't fought Panildo. He hasn't fought Renato Moicano. Renato Moicano did take a fight also on short notice and lost against the Pampa number one. So it's like, again, if Gaethje beats him, does that guarantee him a shot? Considering that Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria are making noise about wanting to fight for that title very, very, very soon. So it's like you're putting Gaethje in a position now where he has to make a decision against someone that actually makes sense. And not that if I beat this guy, okay, I stay number three and watch Ilia go fight for a title after just entering the division. He's not going to fight Max again. I don't know if that's going to happen. I would like to see him fight Max again because it won't be for the BMF title. So it all comes down to of the athletes on that ranking list, who is most likely available, and also is the fight going to guarantee a win-win for both athletes, not just for the one who comes up on short notice, for example, Renato Moicano, Rafael Vaziev, Mateusz Gamrot. They also have, we also have what's his name, Arman Tsarukyan, who personally I think should be the fight to fight Justin Gaethje next because he didn't have any injuries, he didn't have anything wrong, he just missed weight, and he immediately said, "Don't worry, I accept it. I'm gonna get back into training." Boom, back in training. He should be because you were going to fight for a title literally 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You should then still be in fight ready shape, or you should be in competition ready shape. So personally, I think that should be the fight against Justin Gaethje because then now you guarantee the title eliminator there. You know what I'm saying? If Justin Gaethje fights against Renato Moicano, would you put him up against Islam again if he beats Justin Gaethje? I don't think so. Rafael Vaziev has to climb the ranks again. The only thing that makes me maybe agree with Vaziev is that he wasn't losing. He was just out because of a broken leg for the last 2 years. Last fight was in 2023. So he didn't drop the rankings because of underperforming or because of not winning fights, just because he wasn't there. Now he's fit, now he's back. Maybe get Gaethje, but you lost to Gaethje. So it's like he probably for me he has to fight someone else first before fighting against someone in the top five. Maybe give him Max Holloway, who is number five. Keep Vaziev, Max Holloway, that would be a nice fight. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's a good fight.
And then you can have Moicano versus Mateusz Gamrot. That would be a fantastic fight to watch as well. Then I would go Justin Gaethje versus Arman Tsarukyan. Boom, winner gets the title shot. Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria. Dustin Poirier. Uh, my fanboy in me would have loved to have watched Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway as a retirement fight for Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt. That would be an epic way to sign off Dustin Poirier's career.
Sheesh. Wow.
But I don't know if the UFC is going to make that happen. So to end it off, I personally feel like Arman Tsarukyan should be the guy to fight Justin Gaethje come next Sunday.
Look, when you kind of said it to me off air, I was a bit kind of hesitant. But I think you sold it quite well. My only question with that would then be that Justin Gaethje's recent performances, what has he done? He's lost to Max Holloway most recently.
Mm,
Before that was at the Poirier fight when he won.
mm.
So my thing is, coming off a loss against Max, if he beats Arman Tsarukyan, does that guarantee him a title shot? Because you kind of sold this as a title eliminator, right? Gaethje and
And
Tsarukyan.
Hooker. It was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
So now if Gaethje wins, he gets a title shot.
Mm, yes.
I'm not sure I can buy into that just because the man is coming off a loss in his last fight. So
Yeah.
it's difficult for me to justify a title shot. And that was kind of the
Mm,
reason why I hesitated when you said Tsarukyan is just because Tsarukyan is a title contender and he was, like you
mm.
said, set to fight for the title just a few weeks ago. So it's just my doubts there on Gaethje's most recent performances. I'm not
Yeah.
sure that a win against anyone here should necessarily warrant a title fight for him.
Mm,
So for me, based on the three you through the names in that, I think
yeah.
Renato Moicano, simply because if he does win, I wouldn't have any beef with giving him another title shot against Islam with a full camp because I feel
Hmm.
like you have to at least give him that
Yeah.
opportunity to show the world, man. Because he took
Yeah.
it on short notice. Fair play to him. He got choked out. It's a near impossible task to beat Islam without the camp.
Yeah.
So I think if he wins this fight, he then earns his right to fight for the title for me. I wouldn't have any problem with that.
Mm,
Fiziev has been out for too long to earn a title shot. So if this is a title
mm.
eliminator, it's not for him, I don't think.
Nope.
Gamrat, close fight against Dan Hooker. Um, Possibly could motivate for it, but I'm kind of leaning
Mm.
personally here towards Moicano. I might be a bit biased because Moicano is my boy and I love him. So
Who
that
doesn't,
that
eh?
that might
He's the
be
best.
part of it. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Moicano. Yeah, I'm just having a look
Mm,
at the ratings, and yeah,
yeah,
Timblet has a fight. So
he does, yeah.
yeah, Max Holloway would be the other
You see, the
option.
thing, AD, the thing that why I was, why I'm keen on Justin Gaethje getting the title shot. Um, the fight against Max Holloway uh, wasn't technically a ranking fight in the lightweight division. It was technically outside of that division completely. So that had no
Mm,
implications on the division. Even after the fight, people were saying, okay, Gaethje has lost his title shot now. But then what about Max Holloway? If you're saying that, then Max Holloway should essentially then be the one that's in line as well. But Max Holloway made it clear that none of it was to build up for a title shot in that division. But then he still won because he had to fight against Ilya after that. So for me personally, I didn't think Gaethje actually lost the title shot, especially because he everyone knows he has one more run in him. We had a run he lost against Khabib, and that was what 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago,
and he
bit
lost
more than
against
that.
Islam also, didn't he? Has he fought Islam before?
No, I don't think he fought Islam. Let me just check Gaethje.
Mm,
I don't think he fought Islam. Yeah, he didn't fight Islam. He Khabib in 2020, and then he went on a
yeah.
win streak, beating Chandler, lost against Charles, beat Fiziev, beat Dustin Poirier, and lost against Max.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
for me, that resume is like, you know what, you actually prime candidate for this. AI having it here. Oh my soul. So as you see what I'm saying, that it makes sense, especially if Hooker was
Yeah.
still the opponent. You ask yourself, winner of this fight has to be put into that hat now. Whether it was
Mm,
Hooker or Justin Gaethje, they have to put themselves in that. It's only because Charles was also winning. No, Charles lost against Arman Tsarukyan, so it's like
yeah.
you know, any one of those top three guys on the list, Arman Tsarukyan, Charles Oliveira, or Gaethje, if they fight whomever and they win their fight, they have to be put in that conversation for title shot next. They have to. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
that's why my argument was like that because Gaethje, even though he lost against contenders who all of us can easily say they can fight for a championship at any point.
mm,
You know what I mean? Whereas in Ile coming up has to fight someone first before that. And then Moyakano, I'm also not against the idea of him fighting for a title, but I would like to see him fight someone else. If he beats Gaethje, then fuck it, Go for it. Give this man a
Mm.
full camp right there. You know,
Mm.
I can see the argument behind it. In the same breath, because he's just lost to the champion and he's ranked number 10. It's like, does Gaethje get a title shot if he beats Moicano?
Yeah.
You know what you see that risk that he has to face there for Gaethje. So it's like, so personally, for me, Gaethje has to fight someone in the top 5 or someone above him.
But why not? Why not the title shot if he beat Moicano? I mean, he was on a how many fight streak before he took the fight on short notice against Islam? Do you count that loss as a loss? You know what I mean? Or is he still now
Yeah,
Moicano kind of if he wins his next fight title shot? Because
but you
that's
see,
kind of where he was before.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
personally, I personally felt that Moicano was on a win streak, but he was still climbing the rankings. He wasn't jumping the
Mm,
rankings. He got the title shot because there's literally nobody who was going to take it at that moment, and he was the only bold enough guy to do it. Just like just like this moment right now. He got 7 days away, 8 to 9 days away before fighting against Gaethje on a Sunday morning. It's another short notice kind of situation again. You know what I mean? So it's like I would have loved to have seen Moicano do what he was doing, which was patiently climbing up that ladder. Because he was doing it in brilliant fashion. He was beating people easily. He was doing it without taking damage. He was growing in a pace that was very progressive and good for his
mm,
career. I thought the jump was a bit too quick. I know he's 35, but he doesn't look sluggish. He doesn't look old. He doesn't look weak. He looks like a contender. He looks like a very good fighter in this division. So I think the progression that he was going at was perfect for his speed. And I would have loved to have seen him fight someone else other than that before Islam. Maybe like someone in the top 5, or excuse me, someone outside of the top 5 would have been an amazing fight. Not even Paddy Pimblett, but I would have loved to have seen Moicano fight like a Mateus Gamero. That would have been a beautiful fight to watch. But Neil Darush is also there. You know, they were
mm.
supposed to fight each other. You could run that fight back.
Who was he supposed to fight when he got his title shot?
For Neil
Um,
Darush.
he was supposed to fight Belarus. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
No,
I
Darush
guess
is,
that kind of speaks to where he is in the division. That wouldn't have been a title eliminator. So
you see what I'm
fair play.
saying?
Yeah, fair play, fair play. Yeah, so I think yeah, some good points that you make there, BG. But yeah, I'm still gonna go with Moicano just because he is my dog.
And you know what,
But
80 there? He might be the one they're gonna give it to because he's probably the most ballsy to do it. And he has more leverage than Vaziev and Gamera.
yeah, I would say so. I would say so. But yeah, of course, lots to discuss here, ladies and gentlemen. But you, of course, let us know in the comments your thoughts on this one. BG, any final thoughts before we wrap it up here, bro?
Yeah, I am a bit gutted about Dan Hooker. Or unfortunate. I'm sorry for him for his part because he wouldn't. I'm sure he didn't want that to happen either. And I'm sure all the fight fans was gutted when we heard this news because boy, we would have expected another BMF moment in this fight for sure. But
Yeah.
wishing him all the best, and I hope the UFC gets Justin Gaethje a very good opponent.
Yeah, let's hope, let's hope. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you have made it this far in the video, please, please, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends. Most importantly, have a fantastic Wednesday evening. And we'll see you tomorrow for the Parlay Show. Cheers, everyone.